Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Thursday evening, August 29, 2024. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak of Atlantic hurricane season, that's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren. And subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Leave a comment down below letting me know what the has been like in your area recently. Also, feel free to ask any other related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so let us take a look at the U.S. National Hurricane Center 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook. And we can see that as of their latest update that just came out at 7:40 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is actually 6:40 p.m. Jamaica time, they have two areas highlighted for possible tropical cyclone development. And if we take a look at the infrared satellite images, we can make out these two systems. So we see one right here, equal distance from Africa and the Caribbean, and another one right here closer to Africa that's expected to move westward and possibly develop in that yellow hatched area. We can see it all represented here on the latest infrared satellite imagery. We see the clouds associated with that first tropical wave and the clouds associated with that other tropical wave closer to Africa. If we take a look back at what the Hurricane Center has stated, we can definitely see right here that it now has a 50% chance of cyclone formation within the next 7 days. They've stated here a tropical wave over the central tropical Atlantic continues to produce disorganized showers and thunderstorms that have become a little more concentrated near its axis. Environmental conditions appear conducive for gradual development of the system, and a tropical depression could form by early next week while it moves westward at 10 to 15 miles per hour, approaching the Lesser Antilles. The system is then forecast to continue moving westward to west-northwestward across portions of the eastern and central Caribbean Sea by the middle part of next week. And we see that they've given it a 10% chance of cyclone formation within the next 48 hours, that's the next 2 days, and a 50% chance of cyclone formation within the next 7 days. As it relates to the other system to the east of that one, they've stated here another tropical wave just emerging off the coast of Africa is currently associated with an area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms. Some slow development of this system is possible through the middle portion of next week as it moves slowly to the west-northwest or northwest over the eastern tropical Atlantic. And we see that they've given it a 0% chance of cyclone formation within the next 48 hours and a 20% chance of cyclone formation within the next 7 days. And we're going to be looking at what the supercomputer models are showing regarding this system right here, the one that has the medium chance of development that could immediately affect land sometime soon. So we're going to be looking here first at the Euro model, and we're going to be focusing our attention on the time stop. We're just going to be going out to the next 168 hours like what the US National Hurricane Center would do. We're going to be keeping our focus right here at the bottom part of this image. We're going to be looking for the moisture associated with that system, the greens, the yellows, and the red L that represents the area of low pressure. So let's start to go to the next 168 hours to see exactly what's going to be happening. So we can see that as early as 6Z on Monday, September 2, which is actually 1 a.m. on Monday, we can see it coming into the picture to the east of the Caribbean. We can see Dominican Republic and Haiti right here, Cuba, Jamaica right here, just for reference. And if we continue to go out in time, we can definitely see the system entering the Caribbean. A lot of moisture associated with it, with the darker shades of greens and yellows. And we see that the system pushes towards the west. And then by the end of 268 hours, that's 12Z on Thursday, which is actually 7 a.m. on Thursday, it should be somewhere to the south of Jamaica, Haiti right there. Most of the moisture to the south of Haiti and the Dominican Republic. But what does the GFS show for the same time period. So we're going to be going out on the GFS to see exactly what's going to be unfolding. And we see it coming into picture, not as robust as on the Euro, but there it is right here across the Eastern Caribbean by 6 on Tuesday. That's 1 a.m. on Tuesday, and it continues to go out in time. We see the moisture associated with it right there to the north of the ABC Islands. We can see the yellows, the oranges, the reds, some heavy rainfall associated with it. But we see that even by the end of the 168 hours, we even passed it. It is completely different in terms of the location where it's supposed to be at that time, and the Euro and the GFS are differing. We see the Euro has it more towards the west, closer to the southeast of Jamaica by the end of the 168 hours. The GFS has it more south off the eastern tip of the Dominican Republic. And if we even go out even further, by the end of the 204 hours, we see that it makes a close pass to Jamaica, maybe as a tropical depression, if not a weak tropical storm. But we know this is subject to change. This is not set in stone. But we definitely see that the GFS is a bit slower than what the Euro was showing in terms of where the system should be by the end of the next 7 days. So Thursday is going to be interesting to see which one of the models win. And I'll definitely be here to keep you posted with exactly what unfolds with the system. We know the next names on the list are Francine, followed by Gordon. Alright, so let's switch gears now and talk about what's happening on the 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook. Across the Eastern Pacific, we see that there's nothing here. Every one of the system has pushed towards the west, and now across the Central Pacific, we still have Hone right here that affected the southern portions of the big island of Hawaii, and it's now towards the west of the Hawaiian Islands. And we now have Tropical Depression Gilma that's about to affect portions of the Hawaiian Islands with some amount of moisture. If we take a look at the statistics, if we take a look at the details, Hone is still packing maximum sustained winds of 40 miles per hour and is moving towards the west-northwest at 7 miles per hour. Who knows, maybe Hone might make it as far as the Western Pacific. It's going to be very interesting to see if that's what happened as it relates to Gilma. Back down to a tropical depression packing maximum sustained winds of 35 miles per hour, moving towards the west-northwest at 12 miles per hour. And regardless of the distance from the Hawaiian Islands, there's definitely going to be some amount of moisture associated with it, especially across the northern Hawaiian Islands right there. If we take a look at what's happening across the Western Pacific regarding Typhoon Shanshan, we see that this system has definitely weakened a lot. We can see South Korea right here. We can see Japan right here. And we see that, yes, we still have some cloud cover associated with Shanshan. But the heaviest weather has, gone down in intensity. Not much high cold cloud tops as represented by the yellows, reds, oranges, blacks. All of those colors. We do see some high cold cloud tops. So, yes, there's definitely some wind and rainfall still taking place. It is still a tropical system, to be honest. It's right now packing maximum sustained wind of 40 knots. When we take a look at the Saffir-Simpson scale, 40 knots is about the same as tropical storm strength. So we see that the land has definitely done a number on the strength of the system, and more than likely it's going to be weakening the more it continues to push northeastward or eastward over the Japan region. And that's a good thing. We want the system to, weaken. We don't want it to do much damage at all. If we take a look here at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can see the entire Atlantic is still being dominated by ridges of high pressure to the north that we know is responsible for sending all of the easterly trade winds across the main development region into the Caribbean. We can see a tropical wave right here affecting portions of Hispaniola. We can see the other tropical wave right here that the Hurricane Center is watching that has a medium chance of development. And the other tropical wave should be somewhere here off screen closer to Africa. If you take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, we can still see that a lot of Troughing taking place, low pressure, bring a lot of moisture to portions of the Gulf of Mexico and the southern United States. We can actually see the clouds associated with that tropical wave, bringing a lot of thunderstorms to portions of Haiti as we speak. And we can see the clouds associated with the other tropical waves that the Hurricane Center is watching for possible tropical cyclone development. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean weather later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Thursday, August 29. It was stated that we would have received some afternoon rainfall across parts of eastern, central, and western Jamaica. And just for reference, we know eastern Jamaica, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey, so Portland, St. Andrew, Kingston, St. Thomas. Central parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Middlesex, so St. Anne, St. Mary, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine. Or western parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall, so Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, Westmoreland, and St. Elizabeth. And what ended up happening? A post was made in the late morning hours at around 11:40 a.m. on our Twitter page at Weather Jamaica. By the way, keep in mind that these posts aren't only made here on our Twitter page at Weather Jamaica, but on our Instagram page at Weather.Jamaica, on our TikTok page at Weather Jamaica, and on our Facebook page at Weather Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there as we make posts throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. So the post was made and highlighted that we're receiving some amount of light to moderate to maybe even some slight heavy rainfall across northern Jamaica. We can see those streaks of greens and yellows that we can see by the key on the right that represent some moderate to slightly heavy rainfall. And we saw another post was made around 2:45 p.m. highlighting the visible satellite image, and it showed that we had more in the way of cloud cover and some isolated thunderstorm activity across sections of some central and western parishes, and we can see the sparkling yellow dots that we know represent the lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes, on the visible satellite. Definitely affected portion of northern St. Andrew, northern St. Catherine, northern Clarendon, southern St. Anne, sections of Manchester, St. Elizabeth for sure. And then the infrared satellite image was posted at around 4:15 p.m. highlighting the high cold cloud tops. Look at the cumulonimbus clouds that we know is represented by the blues, greens, yellows, oranges, reds, and the sparkling white dots on the infrared satellite imagery that we know represent the lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes. So we definitely had the thunderstorm activity across sections of Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover for sure. Maybe more in the way of overcast skies across St. Anne, St. Mary. Maybe section of St. James and Trelawney as well. But we see that the thunderstorm activity was definitely confined to especially southern parishes. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of Jamaica before the summer though, we can definitely see that easterly flow that we had across the island. Then those clouds built up. Then we got some diurnal convection, that thunderstorms for sure. And we definitely have confirmation from some of our followers on our Twitter page right here. Scorpio body setting thunderstorm in central Manchester. That was 1 hour ago. We actually saw the thunderstorms building up. If we look closely, we can see that when the sun was starting to go down, we're losing the daylight. We saw that there was definitely a pop-up right there across section of Manchester. Definitely saw some thunderstorms. We also had on our Facebook page some comments coming in right here from Shash Shea stating it's been raining in St. Elizabeth. Angelique Francis, overcast and thunder rolling. Another comment right here. Skates Zone Recreation Park stating raining in Mandeville. And that was 1 hour ago as well. Even on our threads page, that is from Instagram, we had humble_soul_Stacy stating due to how we get some very nice showers today, one weather Jamaica, never two. I wonder what parish that was. We also had on our Instagram page rose.b.w stating thunder in Portmore, Eastman_music stating Red Hills have thunderstorm now. We also see right here another comment, slim_queen_1 stating lots of thunder and lightning here in St. best. That's just to confirm the rainfall in those areas. And we wish we had some live cameras like what we have on See Jamaica's YouTube channel. Unfortunately, we didn't see much taking place on the Bogwar Gorge cam right here. Didn't see much in the way of rainfall across St. Catherine at all. We saw vehicles going about their business for sure. Maybe overcast was as much as it got. Not much in the way of rainfall at all. The river not doing much at all. We saw the river the other day definitely rushing because of the rainfall that they had upstream. But not much activity today at all. By the way, if you'd like to see more live streams like this, just visit See Jamaica's YouTube channel. They have live streams of the Bogwalk Gorge, Barbican, Halfway Tree, Crossroads, and even the Kingston Harbor. If we take a look here at the accumulated precipitation for the past 24 hours from the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website, we can see that we had most of the rainfall, especially across the Kingston Central and Western parishes, with the brunt of it across southern Jamaica than anything else. Even although portions of Kingston St. Andrew were shaded, most of that rainfall was off to the northern portion of St. Andrew for sure. As it relates to what is going on right now, let us reload these images that we have the very latest. So we can see that as of the latest imagery right here, there was definitely a huge burst of convection right there of the western portions of the island. And it is very identical to what we had yesterday when we looked up the Rick's Cafe cam and saw all of the lightning. We're definitely getting in on that very same pattern with the brunt of the thunderstorms on the early evening, burst of convection across Westmoreland, section of Negril for sure. We definitely had that. Look at the burst of convection, look at the sparkling white dust. That is the definition of severe thunderstorm right there. As a matter of fact, let's see if we can find the Rick's Cafe cam. Let's see if we can find it. Let's see if it loads up. Maybe we might just see some lightning again in the distance. Let's see. It definitely rained for sure over there. You can see the place is wet. It seems like they get rainfall almost every afternoon. Some persons would argue. Some persons, especially in the east, have been dry. Very jealous of what they get over there. Not seeing much of anything right now. I guess that's it. But if we take a look at the Cuban Doppler radar images, we can see the greens, the yellows, the oranges, the reds represent the heavy rainfall, even some severe weather right there up to the southwest of Westmoreland for sure. That is just crazy. Imagine all of that over land. That would definitely cause some amount of damage, if not in the form of a freak storm, some amount of flooding. If we take at the Guantanamo Bay military radar, we can see the rainfall associated with that tropical wave definitely causing some amount of bad weather to sections of Haiti as we speak. We see the greens, the yellows right there. You can also see some rainfall across sections of southeastern Cuba. And if we take a look at the Cayman radar, we can also make out the rainfall that exited the coast of Westmoreland right there. Some rainfall off to the south of the Cayman Islands as well as to the west of there too. If we take a look at the live cam from See Jamaica's YouTube channel showing halfway through the latest as of 8:21 p.m. Not much taking place in terms of bad weather, persons going about their business. A very busy halfway through as usual. And it's definitely going to be a fair night tonight for sure. Definitely going to be seeing the stars out. If we take a look at the temperatures right now, we can see that we have 20. Well, let's see if we load up the correct temperatures. It should be in degrees Celsius if I'm not mistaken. Let's see if I can get that. Here we go. Alright, so temperatures right now, as usual, 28 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 29 degrees Celsius in Kingston. And by about, let's see, Let's work it out. Alright, here we go. Alright, so by about 4 a.m. on Friday, temperature should dip down to about 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 26 degrees Celsius in Kingston. Taking a look here at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, this map from the GFS is showing 18Z on Friday when calculated. That's 1 p.m. on Friday, and we can see Jamaica right here embedded in some yellows and some slight orange colors that we can see by the key on the right. That represents anywhere from 1 to 2 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures. I know the normal temperatures for the month of August across Jamaica are about the same as July, 91 degrees Fahrenheit. When calculated, 91 degrees Fahrenheit is about the same as 32.7 degrees Celsius. So we should be receiving anywhere from 32 to 34 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's temperature on Friday. Taking a look at the Saharan dust forecast for 2 p.m. on Friday, we can see Jamaica right here. Not getting in on much in the way of Saharan dust. We see the brunt of Saharan dust right here across the waters of the main development region. The most vigorous plume is across Africa, where we see those darker shades of brown. And we're indeed grateful that the more west that the dust goes, it's losing its vigor. And that's what we like to see. We don't like to see the vigorous plumes that we know can cause very hazy skies or trigger some amount of respiratory illnesses, sinus or asthma issues in some persons at all. But we know eventually all of this is going to be pushing from east-west. What we're hoping is that it also dwindles by the time it gets there. We know all of it is pushing from east-west because of the ridge of high pressure to the north. If we take a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, we can see not much has changed. The Western Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico having the least amount of wave height. Anywhere from, let's say, 0.5 of a meter wave height, all the way up to 1 to 1.5 meter wave heights from the central to the eastern Caribbean and the blues. And that's because the winds are not going to be that strong at all, averaging anywhere from 5 to 10 knots across the western Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico, averaging anywhere from 10 to 15 to 20 knots across the central to the eastern Caribbean. And we see the general flow of the winds from the east, all courtesy of the ridge of high pressure to the north across Bermuda. If we take a look at the close-up of Jamaica in terms of the wind forecast, we can definitely see that the winds are going to be coming in from the east for sure. Definitely anything that comes off of the sea going to be bringing some rainfall to section of St. Thomas and Portland. And we see that the air is going to be piling up across sections of central and western Jamaica. So we might just have those cumulus clouds becoming mid-level rain clouds, if not upper-level cumulonimbus clouds, when it's time for that daytime heating rainfall. That's where all of the air is going to be piling up. Central western Jamaica has been receiving the brunt of the rainfall. That's the pattern, and it has been stuck for quite some time. And just as predicted, the morning time is definitely forecasting rainfall for eastern Jamaica. This map from the Euro and this map from the GFS, they are both valid for 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 5 a.m. Jamaica time, and we see the blues represent rainfall across sections of St. Thomas and Portland right there. So the chances of that morning rainfall coming to fruition is very high. If we continue out in time, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS, they are both showing 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 10 a.m. Jamaica time. And we still see the consensus for the blues represent rainfall across eastern Jamaica, St. Thomas, Portland, maybe sections of Kingston, St. Andrew for sure. We see the Euro trying to incorporate central and western Jamaica, but not much on the GFS. So we're working with the consensus that is eastern Jamaica. Then by afternoon now, that's when we start to see the rainfall spreading across central and western parishes in Jamaica. Even although the Euro still incorporating eastern Jamaica, not so much on the GFS. GFS is in the clear more wise than anything else. But the GFS is showing rainfall on the blues across central Jamaica, sections of maybe southern St. Mary, St. Catherine, northern Clarendon, northern Manchester, St. Anne, Trelawney, St. James, Hanover, sections of Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth. Euro showing the blues across central and eastern Jamaica. We'll see which one of them wins. Either way, I'm more inclined to believe that there's definitely going to be a lot more rainfall across central and western Jamaica for sure. And if we take a look at the accumulated precipitation forecast from the Euro and the GFS models, we can definitely see that there's going to be rainfall somewhere across Jamaica within the next 24 hours. We see the GFS showing more rainfall across western Jamaica, all the way up to 0.51 of an inch of rainfall expected. Euro trying to show the brunt of the rainfall across eastern Jamaica. Either way, we'll take it. We're in the month of August. We usually receive almost 100 millimeters of rainfall in Kingston, almost 125 millimeters of rainfall in Montego Bay. That's almost 5 inches of rainfall for Montego Bay. That's almost 4 inches of rainfall for Kingston. Keep in mind that you can visit weatherandclimate.com to find out what the rainfall throughout the year is usually like for your specific parish. And you can use this little graphic right here that converts the rainfall from inches to millimeters on the rain gauge. You know that 1 inch of rainfall is about the same as 25 millimeters for sure. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So we do see some clouds passing here to the north of the ABC Islands. Clouds definitely lashing portions of Haiti with some thunderstorms as we speak. We can see a lot of clouds across the southern United States, the Gulf of Mexico, section of Florida, the Bahamas, Cuba, the Yucatan Peninsula. You can also see a lot of clouds out here in the main development region, the intertropical convergence zone that the Hurricane Center is watching for a possible tropical cyclone development. If we take a look here at the northeastern Caribbean, we can see exactly what's taking place. We do have a lot of greens that represent some hit or miss isolated showers, definitely lashing portions of the Leeward Islands as we speak. As a matter of fact, let's load this image up from earlier today. We can definitely see that portion of Puerto Rico, western and northeastern portion of the island gotten on some isolated showers today. Even section of the Leeward Islands, Antigua and Barbuda, Guadeloupe, Dominica, Martinique for sure. And as of the latest Doppler radar image that just came out at 8:25 p.m. Central Daylight Time, we can see that there's still a lot more rainfall coming in to portions of those islands. If you take a look at the Barbados radar, we also see some rainfall coming into Barbados as we speak. Sections of Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and Grenadines, Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago getting on some of the rainfall too. And as we take a look here at the wide view of Doppler radar images, we can see some rainfall across section of southern Florida, Cuba, the Yucatan Peninsula, Colombia, sections of northern Venezuela, and even portions of the eastern Caribbean, just like what we saw on the other Doppler radar images. As relates to where the rainfall is expected within the next 24 hours, we can see that both the Euro and the GFS models are showing where it's going to be raining. They see a lot of colors. That represents what? The 0.25 of an inch of rainfall all the way up to the red in the 1 inch of rainfall range. For a section of Florida, Cuba, the Bahamas, some rainfall for the Cayman Islands, Jamaica, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, the Leeward Islands, Anguilla, St. Kitts and Nevis, sections of St. Bart's, Antigua and Barbuda, sections of Guadeloupe, Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, even areas to the south of there, including Guyana, Suriname, French Guyana, Venezuela, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, El Salvador, and the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico, including the Cayman Islands right there. I know that when both maps from the Euro and the GFS are in consensus like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for now. Thanks for watching.